Well, hello, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Dayton Christian Connection, where we seek to glorify God and continue building a gospel-shaped education community together. On this episode of the Dayton Christian Connection, I'm joined by one of our guidance counselors, Tiffany Viel. Actually, is it guidance counselor?
It's high school counselor.
High school counselor, Tiffany Viel. And she has a wonderful role here, very important to the school, but also the main focus of our episode today is J-Term. And J-Term is a wonderful opportunity for our high school students that we're going to dig into and talk all about. But like I said, Tiffany, first, can you tell us about who you are and what your role is here to our students?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm the high school counselor. I do all the social, emotional with our students, check-ins on how they're doing, checking in with their grades, like what barriers do we have? What's keeping us from getting the grades that we know that we can do? I work alongside Miss Hendrick. She does most of the academic advising, but I'm learning some of that from her and trying to implement some of that. So this year I did all the scheduling for the freshman class, and I'll be working with the freshman class on coming up with a 4-year plan for them and talking about what they want to do for the future. So that's what I do.
Nice. Yeah. And it's been really cool because you and I have worked together the past 2 years. We both came to Dayton Christian at the same time, 2024, 25. Yeah. And my role was Dean of Students. So you and I worked closely together for, like you had said, the social and emotional piece of your job, which is hugely important to our students here as teenagers are going through a tough time, right? And so they need someone to help navigate that with them. And that was cool to see that side of you. While I was doing the unfortunate discipline side, you were always there with the helpful emotional side too. Of course, now I'm in band, and while that's a good fit for me, I do miss our working together closely. But it's great to have you on the program today. Specifically, why I wanted to bring you on was to talk about J-Term. Before we even go into specifics of what J-Term looks like for this school year, could you tell our listeners and viewers about what J-Term even is? What does it mean?
Absolutely. And I'm very excited about J-Term because it's such a unique experience for students. J-Term is a long-standing tradition here at Dayton Christian. I've heard so many cool things about it from our alumni. It started out as a month-long experience where students got to take 2 different classes during that month. And then it shortened to 2 weeks, and now it's a week. But even though it's shortened, we still strive to give them a outside-of-the-box learning experience. The purpose of J-Term is to help kids discover their God-given gifts through career exploration, service, or some sort of hobby. It's a unique experience. Public schools don't partake in anything like this. Some private schools have it, but it's still very unique to Dayton Christian.
Nice. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I had heard of, before I came here, I'd heard of J-Term, but didn't really know much about it. And so last year kind of got my feet wet with knowing what it even was. But yeah, I think we've honed it in well here, since, especially since you've taken kind of the reins to get it to a week format, but still something that is absolutely helpful to each student and what they want to get better at, right? What their skills are, or something they're interested in. But haven't had the opportunity to pursue. So outside of the box was the way you described it. So we have our core curriculum here. Everybody knows reading, you have language arts, mathematics of various sorts. You have the arts, the fine arts, physical education. But for J-Term, we're talking about really outside the box ideas, specific concentrations or skills, job type of things, trips even. Yeah. And so what I'd like to do is have you kind of go through first let's go through the specific ones for 25, 26. What do you see? And so you can just give the listeners and viewers just kind of a rundown on each opportunity the students had. And as they listen, I think they're going to find some of these very cool. So,
Awesome. So 2 of the longstanding traditions are our mission trips. What a unique opportunity for our students to get to learn service outside of the United States.
For sure.
So we have a group going to Jamaica. Hopefully, we're praying for Jamaica. And as of right now, the trip is still on. So we're hoping that we can still go and serve them. But they've been going, to my knowledge, for like 30 years to work at the deaf school in Jamaica. And our kids get to use their ASL that they're learning here at Dayton Christian and put that into practice at a deaf school in Jamaica, working with the students there.
Nick Osborne, our teacher there, has the class here, ASL. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
And then those students from that class usually are the ones that sign up to go.
Yep.
And then some others that.
Yeah. And then they get to use those skills firsthand.
Awesome.
Mr. Gary Recker and Mallory Fisher lead that trip. They're very passionate about it. That's the other thing that makes J-Term unique, is that we try to make sure the leaders are passionate about what they're teaching. Yeah. And that flows over for the kids, and there's just a lot of excitement.
Cool.
So we have that trip. We have the Dominican Republic trip, which Nicole Smith and Miss Boys lead, where the kids, a lot of the kids in the Spanish class sign up for that trip because they get to use that skill.
Right.
They're taking that skill to serve in another country and serve there.
Cool.
So that's our 2 mission trips. Then we offer a learning trip. We use Good Comma, who's actually the owner of that company, is a DC alumni. And one of the workers there used to be a teacher here, Mr. Kurtz. So a strong DC connection.
Nice.
But they lead different educational trips. And this year we're going to Boston.
Nice.
So they're going to get to put history, get to visualize history. And the Good Comma folks put so much passion into developing these trips and helping history come alive for our students. So I'm really excited for that group to get to go to Boston and see things firsthand.
Great. And then there are lots of opportunities for those that aren't going out of the country or, to the Northeast. What are some of our opportunities here at the school or even local trips, if there are any of those?
Absolutely. So one thing that we tried for the first time this year was to take the burden off parents. Driving school is really hard to get into these days. There's a big wait list. It's hard with kids' schedule. So we brought driving school to J-term.
Nice.
So we're working with PDS Driving School to help kids get that knocked out the week of J-term. So our parents are really excited about that because they won't have to drive them to the classes. The whole week of J-term, they'll get their in-classrooms lessons completed.
Nice.
They'll still do their in-car out, but because of our partnership, they lowered the cost as well, so we got a discount. So it was a huge benefit to parents and kids.
Yeah, and depending on how it goes, hey, this could be one that becomes a tradition too.
I hope
knowing
so,
that
yeah.
I've got little ones, you've got little ones, they're going to need it someday with the new Ohio laws. Everybody has to start, right?
Yep,
even 18.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yep.
so everybody has to have to. That's great. That's a helpful thing to know. Is there any local community like college trips or going to any colleges or anything?
We're not touring colleges this time, but we have some workforce exploration.
Oh, great.
So we have Coach Crowley, who's our transition coordinator, is taking a group of students to see different manufacturing sites, to see potential workplaces right out of high school. So they're going to Henny Penny, which is in Eaton.
Yeah.
So they're going to get to see like some food engineering, see the experience, see all the different jobs that go into that. They get to eat there, which the kids are really excited about. They'll also be going to Plastic Tube Corp to see what they do and what they make there, as well as the last day they're actually going to go to Sinclair and tour their workforce exploration program. So they're going to get some firsthand career experience. One facility is actually doing mock interviews with them, so they'll get to try to get that experience of interviewing. So just a great week of getting ready for the workforce.
Yeah, because we all know, in society, college is not a guarantee for everybody or a necessity as much as maybe once was thought. It's not saying I'm not minimizing it. It's important for lots of lots of trades and jobs. But for the trades that don't require it, it's good to see what you can go into maybe right away. And so that's great to see. Great to see. And there's also, like you said, some community colleges that prepare for those workforce type of jobs that you'll see. And they can go experience as well. What about on our campus? What are we doing here during J-term for some opportunities?
Absolutely. So a class that was requested that we bring back was Dr. Tuttle's C.S. Lewis class. A lot of kids were really excited and wanted that to come back. So Dr. Tuttle is bringing that back. So for the week, it's going to have like a book club feel.
Oh, cool.
We're kind of turning his room almost into like a coffee shop, bookshop.
Sign me up. Oh, wait.
Yes.
I'm on for something else.
Yes, I already got you booked, man.
Yeah.
But they're going to just be studying the different works of C.S. Lewis in a comfortable setting, reading and just processing and exploring how C.S. Lewis lived his life to honor Jesus and taking that into their own life.
Other things on the campus as well?
Yes. So we also have Stitch and Serve, which Miss Sarah Ann Bowers is going to teach. So she's actually teaching a sewing class. We are fortunate to have 14 different sewing machines here. So we have kids that are going to make a cardigan. They're going to put the DC emblem on it, so they'll have a cardigan that they can use at school as part of their uniform. They're also going to be making stuff to give to the homeless. So they'll be learning skills, they'll be serving, and adding to their uniform collection.
That's so nice. That's so nice. I love when a lot of the J-terms, not that they don't all have to have service, but it's nice when a lot of them do naturally have it built in as part of the skill-based thing that they're learning is service is a Christian skill. That is something that we need to intrinsically want to do, but sometimes we need to be trained on how to serve. And so these are great opportunities for that. What other things are going on here?
So we have a class called Truth Buried in Time, which is biblical archaeology. So think like Indiana Jones style. They're going to be looking at fossils and exploring archaeology and how it points to Christianity. So they're going to discover the truth and just see Christianity and the evidence of Christianity.
Very important. Very important for us to not just have the knowledge of Scripture and the truth of Scripture in our heads. It's obviously important to know Scripture, but we need to see that there is evidence for this too, beyond just Scripture. And it's in the fossil record. It's all there, and we can walk it through a biblical perspective, what we're finding and seeing that proves God.
Yeah, and Miss Megan Runn is teaching that class, and she's very passionate and excited.
Love it. Love it. Do you want to go into
I have more.
Oh, yeah,
Are you
let's
ready?
keep them coming.
So we have Ultimate Leadership Martial Arts, which is going to be led by the Marshad family. They have their own martial arts studio in Springboro, but they're bringing it here to DC. Their daughter is a DC alumni. So the whole week, kids are going to be learning different martial arts skills, different leadership skills, and they'll actually earn a belt during the week.
Wow.
So a great hands-on experience for leadership and discipline.
You really, I mean, just from even just those sample we've already heard, I mean, you're tackling every domain here, every type of.
We want our kids to have every opportunity possible.
And I think we said high school, so that's implied, but grades 9 through 12, all grades,
Correct.
right?
Yep.
And the seniors, of course, got to kind of choose first with seniority, and it goes down.
Yeah.
It goes down, and then, but still, with the amount of options here, the freshmen got to have lots of great choices still, which is great to see. Okay, you can keep going.
So we have stained wood art class with Mr. Schubach, which also known as Chewy. I think everybody calls him Chewy. But he's teaching a class on wooden art and making creation. So those with the creative side will get to display that. They'll get to keep a piece, and they'll donate a piece to the church as well. So another element of service there.
Awesome.
And then a popular one that's coming back again this year is Mr. White's Warrior Camp for the boys. They'll go to Camp Campbell Guard, and they'll zip line. They'll spend a couple nights at Camp Chautauqua. They'll read through a book together about what it means to be a man after the heart of Jesus. So a lot of discipleship going on in that week, a lot of adventure going on in that week, a lot of pushing outside our comfort zone that week for those boys.
That's great. And we talked about, I hope we did. Did we say this is the time of year it's coming up in the beginning of second semester?
We did not say the date.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, that's something we missed. Yeah.
So this is happening at December's end. So right after the Christmas break, when we come back from first semester break, whatever you want to call it, Christmas break, we are starting into J-term for high school students.
So J-term is January 5th through 9th, and it's kind of how we transition back. We've ended the semester, we have this great fun experience of J-term, and then we'll come back to our second semester. Right,
and then they can get into all the various opportunities that you're describing to us. So the boys camp there in the wintertime, that's what got me thinking about it. That's a layer of interesting. Yes. And so I'm sure the campgrounds are happy to have the business in the slower season. Has Evan talked to you about, Mr. White, excuse me, has he talked to you about the difficulty there of the wintertime, or does that help build the camaraderie?
A little bit of everything. It's definitely a challenge. As much as we plan, we can't control the weather. Last year, the weather hit us hard. But this year, we're trying to have plan Bs if the weather does try to interrupt things.
Have a backup plan if the snow decides to come in. Great. So let's see. Have we gone through? There's probably more on
because
campus,
we
right?
have Boy Warrior Camp. Something that was really highly requested was a version for the girls, and we have that this year.
Oh,
We're very
right on.
excited. We're calling it the Daughters of the King Experience. That's going to be led by Serenity Holteen and Mrs. Hendricks. And it's a week-long experience for girls. They're going through a book called Wonderfully Made. So they're going to look at what it means to be a daughter of the king. They're going to do some art experiences. They're going to have a nutrition class. They're going to have an exercise class. They're going to go to Bridget's Path in Dayton and serve, which is like a home for new mothers. So they're going to get to serve there, experience that. And then at the end of the week, they're actually going to go to a camp and go on a nature trail with horses. So they're going to kind of go outside their comfort zone a little bit too as well.
Love it. Love it. What else we got?
So we have a local service trip as we're talking about service. We have a group that will be going to Hannah's Treasure Chest for 2 days, and a group that will be, it's the same group, but they'll also go to Sleep in Heavenly Peace to help build beds for kids who don't have beds. So the whole week, these students will be serving in a different kind of environment. So they'll learn different ways to serve. They'll get to use, a lot of our kids take wood shop, so they'll get to use those skills in building the beds for the kids that need the beds.
That's so nice.
So again, we're trying to take the skills that they already have and fine tune them, or help them discover skills that they don't even know that they have and how they can use those for Christ.
Nice. All right, we've got...
We have two. So this was kind of a parent requested thing. Our parents have been requesting more college readiness. We hear you. So we brought 2 new classes this year. One is Class 101, and it is a college readiness program. So they're going to work with students to look at their personalities, come up with different colleges that might be a good fit for them, different majors that might be a good fit for them, teach them the application process. How do I use the Common App? How do I use Naviance? How do I apply for college? How do I apply for scholarships? What scholarships are worth my time? So it's a great class for those who are preparing for college, even if they're not preparing for college yet, even as a freshman, getting this knowledge so you're ready when the time comes.
That's smart.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that, but that's a good one.
Yeah, so that's a great class. And then Class 101 is also going to do a class, an ACT Power Camp. So the whole week is getting ready for the ACT, which they'll take in February. So it's just a week to focus on that, fine-tune those skills to help improve those scores.
Fantastic. I love the intentionality that you've put behind planning all this is awesome. Just to think about all the groups that would be benefited by it is wonderful. Do you want to talk about podcasting next?
I have 2 more.
Oh, you got 2 more first?
Sorry. I know we have so many options this year.
I'm so excited to talk about podcasting.
I know.
Go ahead.
So we have Athletes in Action, which is bringing a class for the week. This week is going to focus a lot on their mental performance. They're going to take some personality assessments to focus on what kind of performer they are. How do we get over those performance blocks? How do we move on when we make a mistake? So it's going to be an intense class. They'll definitely work out, but it's going to focus more on the mental side of things as well.
Yeah, that's helpful for athletes for sure.
Yeah.
You need to get in the game mentally.
Yes. Another creative class we have is our ceramics class.
Oh.
What a blessing DC has to have our own ceramic studio.
Yes.
So those kids will get to fine tune those skills. They'll get to make something. They're also going to go on a field trip to a larger ceramic studio, see how they do things there, and make a special project there as well. So for those who are on the more creative side, we brought that this year.
I love it.
We also gave the option for students to job shadow, or we're calling it ministry practicum. So those who want to experience a job for the week, like, do I like this field? Do I not like this field? They get the week to go explore different jobs or different ministries to see, would this be a good fit for me?
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
You never want to, I guess it's okay to change your mind later on, but it's good now to give them those opportunities to see. Maybe I'd like it. Maybe I wouldn't like it. And seeing that before graduating, great idea. Great idea.
Absolutely. And then last but not least, do you want to talk about
yours?
yours?
Where's the cheer button? Please be this one. We'll go with the siren. It's podcasting. Okay. Creating your own podcast. How to create a podcast. What did we call it officially?
Making a podcast.
Making a podcast. Now, I'm looking at you, but I'm looking at you. I'm just so excited about this. So I've always been interested in a lot of things. Sometimes that gets in the way of what I need to get done. But I've loved recording, making videos, editing. I do that on the side for fun, making videos. And so I here at school, even last year as Dean of Students, I started once Mr. Holiday, we love him, but he's moved to Michigan to lead a school there. Once he was announced he was leaving, he started training on his podcast, and here we are continuing it. So I've always had the interest in podcasting. And then our marketing, business marketing promotional director, I need to get the official name better, but Mrs. Julie Thompson, she also was really interested in making a podcast class accessible to our students because I'm not the only one interested in it, Mrs. Viel. Like, this is a really, really applicable job-based career. A lot of people used to laugh when you said, oh, I'm going to make my money as a digital content creator. But these are some of the highest paid people out there. I mean, you can see if you hit it big with views, you can truly make a living. Now, that's not why at a Christian school we're doing it. We're not trying to become millionaires, but we're trying to give people a relevant life skill that they can use their God-given gifts and potential to express ideas. We're praying to benefit the kingdom. We might have some kids in the class come up with a gospel themed podcast, and that's the whole purpose. We're going to show them. We're going to research what podcasts are out there. We're going to see what the successful ones are doing, both in video, both in recording. What equipment are they using? Probably they're using similar things to what we are. I would hope, like good quality stuff. Because the listener and the viewer, they want to see a certain thing. And that's how you're going to get more people to subscribe and to tune into what you're saying. So we'll research all of that. We're going to allow them to record their own podcast, kind of come up with their own idea for whatever interests them in life, record that, work with a team to kind of tweak it, enhance it, make the script better, make the questioning better, whatever it might be, that from the sample of podcasts they've seen. And then the culminating thing is we're going to take a trip to Cedarville, and we're going to check out their studio there where they have a podcast, and they're working on similar things that we're going to teach the students. So I'm really excited about this one because I think it's going to be another career-based opportunity for many of these students who are really interested in content creation, having conversation, having dialogue. Absolutely. We're going to show them how they can do that and how they can use it to the glory of God. So that's creating a podcast, and I'm really excited. With Mrs. Thompson, she and I are co-teaching it. Yeah. She's going to come from the angle of someone who has helped behind the scenes of like, these are the ideas we need to talk about. People want to know this. She helps me with this podcast as people want to hear about this. And so she's going to tell the students all about that. And I'll be kind of coming at it from maybe the teacher side or the getting into the actual recording side, the technology side, if you will. And so I think the two of us are going to make a great team and get a lot of cool skills. So there's making a podcast.
Awesome.
So, yeah. So I think that, does that round out the list of all of them?
I think we hit them all.
And again, with it coming up here in December, I thought this was an appropriate time January. We have a couple months to go, but the excitement is building. I mean, I've noticed this year, people are really looking forward to J-Term. They're excited about these wonderful trips. They're excited about these wonderful opportunities. And we owe a lot of thanks to you, Ms. Viel, because you are doing so much work behind the scenes to coordinate this, but you're making phone calls, you're making emails constantly, making sure things are lined up. So we thank you. I just give a random shout out to anybody else who has also helped you. If any of the other counselors or any of the other teachers planning the trips, getting things in order. It's a lot of work.
It's definitely a team effort.
But it's a lot of work. Doesn't go unnoticed. And so I'm praying that more people will just pay attention to what's going on. Maybe they'll see, hey, I noticed the high school is doing this. Look at this cool thing. And that we would continue to just build this excitement over J-Term.
Yeah.
And over the years, it would just grow into something, continue to be, but also grow into something truly awesome that we can look back on as the alumni do now. Our current students can say, I remember 2026 in January doing that. And it changed my life. Wouldn't that be cool? So for that being today's episode, I think we've covered a lot of cool things.
I think so.
Anything else you wanted to add just before I wrap it up?
We just appreciate all the prayers for J-Term, prayers of safety, prayers for the snow to stay away, and that the kids will grow closer to Christ through this experience. Absolutely. Echo all of that. And so definitely appreciate your time on the show today, Mrs. Viel. Hopefully it answered a lot of any questions or built some excitement up for our viewers and listeners. But until the next time, thank you for tuning in, listening, and may God's grace and peace be with you all. Bye-bye.